I remember the moment everything changed, the moment that still haunts my dreams. I was lying in a hospital bed, every muscle frozen, every breath forced through a tube, completely trapped in my own body. And as I listened silent, helpless to the two people I trusted least whispering over me, I realized they weren't praying for my recovery. They were planning my death. And how all this happened. Let's start from the beginning. I share new life stories here every day, and I would really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and liked my video. Now let's jump back into my story. I assure you'll love it if you keep listening till the end. My name is Lauren Reyes, 34 years old, a high school English teacher from Portland. 3 weeks before I woke up in that hospital room, my life felt normal, stable, even happy in a quiet, comfortable sort of way. I had been married to Daniel Reyes for 8 years. Daniel was confident, ambitious, charismatic commercial real estate developer who seemed to grow more successful with every passing year. I met him in college. I was a shy education major. He was the handsome business student everyone admired. He chased big dreams the way most people chase sleep, restlessly, relentlessly. And I believed in him. God, did I believe in him. We married young and climbed the ladder of adulthood together. Our first apartment. Our first house in the Pearl District, summer trips, shared anniversaries. Plans for kids soon. At least, that's what I thought. Daniel had hired a new assistant a year prior, a woman named Clara Hoyle, 27, stunning, sharp-featured, always dressed in those tailored pencil skirts that made my stomach twist with insecurity. At first, I brushed off my worries. Clara was just an assistant. Daniel was a married man. I was his wife. But little signs began to stack up. Clara started appearing everywhere. Work dinners, weekend events, late nights at the office. Daniel talked about her constantly. She organized this. She fixed that. She saved him from catastrophic mistakes. I'd hear her laugh echo from his phone speaker before he quickly silenced it. He was distracted, distant. Our Friday date nights became rescheduled or forgotten. He started going to the gym more, dressing better, smiling at his screen like it held a secret. Tell me honestly, what would you have done? Would you have trusted your partner? Or questioned everything? I wanted to ask him outright. I wanted to confront the knot in my chest. But every time I tried, he brushed it off with a tired sigh and a quick kiss on the forehead. Work stress, deadlines, investors. He'd say, once this project is finished, things will calm down. We'll be okay. I clung to that hope like a lifeline. Then came the night of the accident. It was October 9th, rainy, cold. One of those Portland nights where fog clings slow and headlights smear across the wet asphalt. I'd just finished a late parent-teacher conference and was driving home along Highway 26, tired but content. My mind wandered lesson plans, weekend grocery shopping, whether Daniel would actually be home early for once. When traffic ahead of me slowed, I pressed the brakes lightly. Nothing. I pressed harder. Still nothing. My foot hit the pedal again and again, panic clawing up my throat. The car wasn't slowing. My brakes were gone, completely gone. I yanked the steering wheel, tires skidding, car spinning wildly across the slick road. I remember screaming, metal crunching, the violent impact against the concrete barrier. Then darkness swallowed everything. I didn't wake up again until the machines were already breathing for me, and I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't open my eyes, but I could hear everything. And the voices I heard first were Daniel's and Clara's. What do you think you would have done if you woke up trapped like that? Listening to people you loved betray you. Don't miss the next part. In the next section, Daniel and Clara stand over Lauren's bed and Lauren hears the first horrifying hint that something far darker than an accident occurred. Asterisk. The first thing I heard was Clara's voice, soft, hesitant, almost trembling, like she was trying on a new kind of sadness she'd never worn before. Has there been any change? She whispered. Daniel sighed, the kind of sigh people give when they're annoyed, not heartbroken. No, nothing yet. I felt the shift in the mattress as someone sat beside me. Even without seeing, I knew it was Daniel, my own husband, the man who hadn't held me lovingly in months. The man whose voice no longer soothed me but scraped against something inside me like broken glass. She looked so peaceful. Clara murmured, peaceful. If only she could feel my heartbeat slamming inside. My chest like a trapped bird desperate to escape. Daniel lowered his voice. I hate this. I hate seeing her like this. But he stopped. But what? Clara pushed and then he said something that cracked open the world I thought I knew. Part of me wonders if it's better if she doesn't wake up. Cold spread through my body like someone had injected ice into my veins. I wanted to scream. I wanted to move. I wanted to sit up and claw at them both until they saw I was alive and listening. Instead, I lay there breathing shallowly through the ventilator. Fully conscious and completely powerless, Daniel. You don't mean that, Clara whispered. But she didn't sound shocked. Just cautious. Like she knew exactly what he meant. If she wakes up like this, he muttered, the doctor said she could have severe brain damage. She won't be Lauren anymore. And he exhaled sharply. I can't live like that. She wouldn't want to live like that. They made me sound like a burden, a chore, something broken beyond usefulness. Have you ever heard people talk about you like you're already gone? What do you think that would feel like? Clara's voice dipped, almost intimate. So, if she doesn't wake up, then what? Daniel hesitated. The hospital said they'll talk to me soon. About options. Options? Like I was a malfunctioning appliance they needed permission to unplug. Clara stood up, her voice growing firmer as she drifted closer to Daniel. You've been carrying this on your own. Maybe. Maybe letting go really is the kindest thing. Kind. Their voices blurred for a moment, low murmurs, breathing too close together. And then I heard it. The unmistakable sound of a kiss. Slow, familiar, practiced. A sound I hadn't heard directed at me in months. Tears slid down the sides of my face. I couldn't wipe them. Couldn't sob. Couldn't even flinch. I was a prisoner inside my own body, forced to listen while my husband kissed another woman 3 feet away from me. They stayed for a while longer. Talking about trivial things when the nurses walked by. Whispering about plans when no one else was around. Eventually the door opened, footsteps fading as they left me alone with machines and betrayal humming in my ears. I lay there for hours, drowning in pure, suffocating devastation. And as much as I tried to push away the thought, it kept returning like a nightmare pressed against the back of my mind. Was this really an accident? Or did someone I loved want me dead? Tell me in the comments. Would you start doubting everything too? Or hold on to hope a little longer? Don't miss the next part. In the next section, Lauren hears Daniel and Clara return and, this time, their conversation confirms the affair and hints at a far darker motive. The next few days blurred together in a haze of beeping monitors and muffled footsteps. Nurses came and went, adjusting tubes, checking vitals, talking around me, not to me because they believed I wasn't really there. I screamed inside, but no one could hear me. Except Daniel and Clara. They always came when the hallway quieted and the room dimmed, and they always came together. It was the third evening when the door opened, and I instantly recognized the sharp click of Clara's heels. Daniel followed behind her, his voice low and irritated. I told you not to bring that, he muttered. I wanted to see how it looks on me, Clara replied, and I could hear the small smile in her voice. Fabric rustled. A clasp clicked. Oh, Daniel, it's beautiful. I knew instantly what it was. My necklace. The diamond pendant Daniel had given me on our 5th anniversary. A symbol of love, he'd said. A reminder we'd always choose each other. And now he was choosing her to wear it. I felt something inside me break. Clara stepped closer. I can't believe she just kept all this jewelry sitting in drawers. I mean, why not enjoy things while you can? I told you, Clara, Daniel said, sounding pleased with himself. She never appreciated what she had, what I had. He was talking about my belongings as though I were already buried. Daniel stood right beside me. Now I could tell by the shift in the air, by the faint smell of his cologne. We'll donate her clothes, he said. Keep the jewelry for you. Sell the furniture with the house. A clean slate. Clara exhaled happily, almost giddy. And then we can finally do it. Move in together. Get the penthouse. Start fresh, penthouse. Start fresh. My body might have been frozen, but my mind was racing like wildfire. How long do you think until everything is finished? Clara asked. Daniel's shoes scraped against the floor as he shifted. The doctors said they'll reassess in a week. If nothing changes, they'll talk to me about withdrawing life support. Clara hummed thoughtfully. And the insurance? About a month after she's declared dead? Maybe less. He paused. $4 million, Clara. We'll be set for life. $4 million. My stomach twisted. My husband, my best friend for 8 years, was talking about my death as if it were a business transaction. My funeral, my belongings, my money. All part of his new life with another woman. What would you feel if someone you loved spoke about you like that? Would you feel rage or heartbreak? We just need to be careful, Daniel added. No mistakes. No slip-ups. Clara's tone dropped, curious. Speaking of that, I've been meaning to ask. What really happened with the accident? Was it just luck, or did you? My heart slammed. Clara, Daniel warned. What? She said lightly. She can't hear us. And the doctors think she's practically brain dead. Silence stretched thick in the room. Then Daniel finally spoke. I told you, he whispered. I handled it. I felt cold, sick, terrified. Clara leaned in. Handled how? Another heavy pause. Then Daniel said the words that turned my fear into pure horror. I weakened the brake lines. My entire body screamed, even though it didn't move. He wasn't lying. He wasn't being dramatic. He was confessing. I practiced on a junk car first, Daniel continued, like he was proud of it. Cut them just enough. She'd never notice until they failed. Clara inhaled sharply. Daniel, it's done, he snapped. And after next week, it will be over. My pulse spiked. Machines beeped faster. Panic clawed inside me, desperate to break free. My husband had tried to murder me. And he was going to try again. Don't miss the next part. Next, Lauren realizes she must find a way to communicate her. Daniel will succeed in killing her. Daniel's confession ricocheted around my mind long after he and Clara left the room. I weakened the brake lines. He'd said it so casually, as if he were talking about replacing a light bulb instead of attempting to end my life. I'd spent 8 years loving a man who had spent weeks planning how to kill me. I lay there, staring at the darkness behind my eyelids, trapped in a body that refused to move. My heart hammered, the machines blipping, my panic for the whole hospital to hear. Yet no one understood why. To them, I was a silent shell, a body, a case. Inside, I was a storm. Every hour that passed felt like sand slipping through a timer buried under my pillow. Daniel would talk to the doctors soon. He would make the decision. He would let me go. And know when absolutely no one would know he was finishing what he started on that rainy highway. Unless I found a way to tell someone. But how do you ask for help when you can't speak, can't move, can't even open your eyes properly? The next morning, the door creaked open and footsteps approached, soft, quick, familiar. It was Nurse Elena Vargas, one of the ICU nurses. She was kind, young, with a gentle voice that felt warm even when the room was cold. "Good morning, Lauren," she said, as if I could respond. "Let's get you cleaned up a bit." She worked quietly, humming under her breath. She always treated me like a person, not a diagnosis. Today, her voice carried a hint of concern. "You look a little different," she murmured. I hadn't realized until she wiped beneath my eyes. My face was wet. Tears. I wasn't controlling them. They were slipping out on their own. She paused. "Oh, sweetheart," her voice softened. "Are you crying?" My heart leaped. Alina leaned closer, searching my face. Her breath hitched. "Lauren, can you hear me?" This was it. My only chance. Every ounce of willpower I had left, I poured into one small, desperate movement. I blinked. A tiny fluttering twitch but. It happened. Alina gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Wait, did you just blink? I tried again. Harder. My eyelid trembled. Oh my God. She grabbed a tissue, wiping my cheeks. Lauren, if you can understand me, blink again. I did. Alina stepped back like she'd just witnessed a miracle. You're in there. You've been in there this whole time. Relief flooded me so intensely it almost hurt, but I had to stay focused. Alina needed to understand more, so much more. Okay, she said, voice trembling with excitement. Blink once for yes, twice for no. Can you do that? One blink. Good. She took a shaky breath. Are you in pain? I blinked twice. Is something wrong? One blink. Is it the accident? One blink. She swallowed. Lauren, did someone cause it? My chest tightened. This was the moment that could save my life. I blinked once. Hard, her face went pale. Someone hurt you. One blink. Was it my God, your husband? My tears answered her before I could blink, but I blinked anyway. One long, deliberate blink. Alina pressed her hand to her mouth, horrified. Lauren, oh no, okay, I'm right here. I promise I'm going to help you, but I need more information. She rushed out of the room and returned with a laminated communication board, letters arranged in a grid. We'll spell it out, she whispered. One letter at a time. I won't leave you. Was painfully slow. It took nearly an hour just to get a few words out. But as we spelled, her face changed. Confusion turned into horror. Horror into anger. Anger into fierce protectiveness. Daniel, brake lines, insurance. Clara, murder. Alina dropped the board, shaking. Lauren, this is serious. Very serious. We need proof. We need to record everything. She stepped closer, determination replacing fear. I'm going to hide my phone behind your water pitcher. If Daniel or Clara says anything at all, we'll catch it. Have you ever had a moment when your life depended on perfect timing and someone else's courage? I prayed this would work. Don't miss the next part. In the next section, Alina hides the phone and Daniel and Clara walk in, unaware that everything they say is about to be recorded. Alina tucked her phone behind the plastic water pitcher on the small tray beside my bed. Okay? She angled it just right, camera facing the room, microphone unobstructed. The screen dimmed so it wouldn't glow. I'm going to stay nearby, she whispered, squeezing my hand gently. If anything happens, anything at all, I'll be right outside. For the first time since waking up trapped in my own body, I didn't feel alone. She gave one last encouraging smile, then slipped out of the room. I heard her settle into the nurse's station just beyond the door. Minutes passed. Slow, heavy minutes. Then footsteps. 2 sets. My stomach tightened. The door opened, and even without seeing, I knew it was Daniel and Clara. Something in the air always shifted when they entered, like the room itself recoiled. Clara spoke first. She looks the same as yesterday, she said, voice dripping casual indifference. Daniel sighed. She's gone, Clara. This is just what's left. If I could have moved, I would have flinched. They came closer, their silhouettes probably captured perfectly on Elena's camera. I imagined the little red light on her phone blinking in quiet determination. Daniel leaned against the bed. I could feel the pressure on the mattress near my leg. You want to talk to me tomorrow? He said. About what? Clara asked. You know what? Daniel muttered. They're ready for me to make a decision. They said she's showing no signs of brain activity. Clara softened her voice. And you'll agree, right? You don't want her suffering like this? Suffering. What an easy word for her to hide behind. Daniel exhaled. Of course I'll agree. We've come too far to hesitate now. My blood turned to ice. Clara stepped closer. I could feel her perfume. Sweet, floral, nauseating. And after the funeral, he didn't answer. She pushed gently. Daniel, you promised we'd start our life. The penthouse. The trips. The freedom. The money. Money, always money. I said we will, he snapped quietly. But we have to be smart. Lauren's sister is already suspicious. She keeps asking questions. Then she'll keep asking, Clara said sharply. You need to handle it. Handle it. Just like he handled my breaks. Have you ever wondered how far someone would go when they're desperate and greedy? Do you think money can really twist a person that deeply? Daniel lowered his voice. I will, but after everything settles. Once Lauren's gone, the insurance will pay out. That's when we disappear. Clara sighed dreamily. $4 million, it's perfect. We'll have everything we deserve. I had never been worth that much to him alive. Daniel moved toward the tray table. My heart stopped. The phone. He was close to it. Stop fiddling, Clara said. Let's just spend a moment. Look sympathetic. Sympathetic. They stood close to me now. I could hear their clothes shifting as Daniel wrapped an arm around her. Poor Lauren, Clara whispered dramatically. Life is so unpredictable. One moment here, the next, gone. She gave a theatrical sniff. Daniel kissed her temple. Don't worry, soon we won't need to pretend. The machines hummed steadily. Then Clara chuckled quietly. Do you ever feel guilty? Daniel scoffed. Guilty? No. She had her chance. Our marriage was dead years ago. This just sped things up. I felt a flicker of rage stronger than anything I'd known. Clara giggled softly. You're terrible, and you love it. A moment passed, thick with the sound of two people embracing just inches from the woman they tried to kill. Then Daniel said something that made my pulse spike so hard the machines beeped faster. I'll tell the doctors tomorrow it's time to let her go. By the end of the week, she'll be gone. Clara placed a hand on his chest. I'm tired of waiting. Footsteps shifted. Clothing rustled. They were leaving. But right before they walked out, Clara whispered, Once she's gone, we need to get rid of anything that ties us to the accident. Daniel lowered his tone. Already taken care of. The door closed. Silence, and that silence was the loudest relief I had felt, 'cause they had no idea their entire confession was recorded. Don't miss the next part. Next, Alina returns, checks the recording, and discovers a shocking twist. Someone else in the hospital may already be helping Daniel. Asterisk, the room stayed silent long after Daniel and Clara slipped out, their footsteps fading down the hallway. My mind spun with frantic hope. Elena's phone had captured everything, every confession, every threat, every whispered plan about my death. It was finally proof. Proof I wasn't crazy. Proof I wasn't imagining monsters. The monsters were real, and I'd married one. Minutes ticked by. I listened desperately for Elena's shoes tapping closer for the soft swoosh of the door anything. It felt like hours before she finally returned. The door creaked open, and Alina rushed straight to my bedside. Her breath was shaky, her movements quick but careful. Lauren, she whispered, fingers trembling as she reached behind the picture. Please, please let this have worked. She pulled her phone out, her eyes darted over the screen, thumb tapping furiously. Then her hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God, she breathed. I got it. All of it. Even without seeing her face, I could feel the swirl of emotions radiating from her: shock, anger, fear, and something stronger than all of that. Determination. She leaned close, brushing a strand of hair from my forehead. You're going to be okay, I swear. We'll take this straight to the hospital director or the police, or both. But just as she turned toward the door, her steps slowed. Her entire body tensed. Alina. A man's voice called from the hallway. My blood ran cold. It was Dr. Harris, the head ICU physician, Daniel's longtime friend. The man who had been pushing the hardest for end-of-life discussions. The man who had told my family I wasn't responding. The man who told the nurses not to expect improvement. It's the man Daniel had drinks with after board meetings. Shadow filled the doorway. You're in here late? Everything all right? Alina quickly tucked her phone into her scrubs pocket, her voice steady despite the fear I knew she felt. Just checking on Lauren. Her vitals spiked earlier. Dr. Harris stepped inside, his shoes clicking slowly, deliberately, like someone who wanted to make sure you heard him coming. "I told you," he said. "Lauren's condition isn't going to change. You don't need to spend extra time with her." Lena didn't respond. He moved closer. Too close. "You're a good nurse, Alina, but try not to get too emotionally invested. It makes the harder decisions. Harder decisions. It's meant my death." He walked to my bedside, placing a hand on the rail. "We all want what's best for Lauren. There's no quality of life like this." Alina swallowed hard. I could feel her resisting the urge to step between us. Dr. Harris leaned down, his breath warm near my ear. Sometimes letting go is the kindest thing. Every word sank into me like poison. Then his tone shifted. "When Daniel speaks with me tomorrow," he said quietly, "we'll finalize the plan. It's time." Lena stiffened beside him. "Sir, shouldn't we wait?" "There might be no." He cut her off sharply. "We've waited long enough. She's not coming back. And the family agrees." My heart slammed. My family. Who had he spoken to? Who had he misled? Dr. Harris moved toward the door. "I'll check on her again in the morning." And then he paused, turned slightly, and Alina, "Stay in your lane." Her breath hitched. He walked out. The door hissed shut. For a full 10 seconds, Alina didn't move. Then she spun toward me, eyes wide with horror. "Lauren," she whispered, voice shaking. "He's helping them." Her words sent terror ripping through me. "He's part of it. He has to be. Why else would he push so hard to end your care? Why else would he talk to Daniel privately about your status?" Alina sank into the chair, pressing a hand over her eyes. "This is bigger than I thought." She took a trembling breath. "We can't go to him. We can't go to the director. If Harris is involved, he could bury everything." She leaned closer, lowering her voice to a whisper. "We need someone outside the hospital. Someone who won't tip them off." Her fingers grabbed her phone again, her eyes narrowing with resolve. "I'm going to call your sister. She has a right to know the truth." My chest tightened. A mix of dread and hope. Lena squeezed my hand. "You're not dying tomorrow, Lauren. Not on my watch." What would you do if you were Alina? Would you risk everything to save a stranger, knowing the people working beside you might be dangerous? Don't miss the next part. Next, Alina contacts Lauren's sister, but someone unexpected overhears the call, putting all of them in new danger. You said. Alina stepped out into the dim hallway, her phone gripped tightly in her hand. She kept glancing over her shoulder, making sure Dr. Harris wasn't lurking nearby. I listened, every nerve inside me straining. I couldn't see her, couldn't follow her, but I could hear the soft click of the door as she pulled it shut behind her. A few seconds passed. Then her voice drifted faintly through the door, hushed and urgent. "Hi, yes? Is this Marissa Harper?" "It's Alina. I'm Lauren's nurse. My sister." My heart thudded. Marissa and I had always been closer than anyone. If anyone would believe the impossible, it was her. But Alina had to be careful. One wrong word, one overheard name, and Daniel's entire plan would shift. "I need to talk to you privately," Alina whispered. "It's about Lauren. And it's serious." Through the door, I could almost picture Marissa's face tightening with concern. I knew her. She'd be pacing her living room now, hand on her forehead. "Is she getting worse?" Marissa asked, her voice tense and breaking slightly. "The doctor said—" "I know what Dr. Harris said," Alina interrupted carefully. "But he's not telling you everything." Pause. A sharp inhale. "Alina, what do you mean?" Alina said, lowering her voice even further, "Lauren is aware. She's conscious." Silence. Then Marissa whispered, "That's impossible." "They told us her brain they were wrong," Alina cut in firmly. "I've communicated with her. She understands everything. And Marissa. She didn't just crash the car. Someone tampered with her brakes." I heard the sound of something clattering on the hospital counter. Maybe Elena's hand trembling. Maybe her pen slipping from her pocket. Then a soft squeak. Shoo! Someone else was in the hallway. Marissa's distant voice continued rapidly, tampered. What are you saying? Who? But Alina suddenly stopped responding. My heart slammed. Footsteps, slow, measured, approaching. Alina. My sister repeated, Are you there, Alina? But instead of answering, a new voice spoke. Close, too close. A man's voice, deep, smooth, cold. Alina, he said quietly, who exactly are you talking to? Every muscle in my body froze even more than they already were. Dr. Harris, he had overheard the call. Alina inhaled sharply. Oh, Dr. Harris, I was just giving the family an update. The smile in his voice was terrifying. At this hour? Why, yes, she stammered. Marissa was worried. A pause, and I imagined him staring her down, dissecting every shaky breath. I see, he murmured. Why don't I speak to her? Panic rippled through my body. No, no, no. Marissa was still on the phone. She would hear him. He would know what Alina said. He would know the truth was leaking out. We were just finishing, Alina said quickly. I'll tell her you'll call first thing in the morning. Another long pause. Then the sound of a phone being grabbed. Alina, he said softly, you wouldn't be withholding information, would you? My entire body screamed inside. I wanted to shout, Run, Alina, don't trust him. Don't say another word. She steadied her voice. No, sir. Just updating the family. The silence that followed was suffocating. Finally, Dr. Harris said, Good, because the administration expects full transparency. And I'd hate to see any misunderstandings jeopardize your career. His footsteps faded, slow and controlled, as he walked away. The moment he was gone, Alina exhaled shakily and whispered into the phone, Marissa. Are you still there? Marissa's voice was frantic. Yes, yes, I heard everything. Oh my God, Alina. Are we in danger? Alina swallowed. Not yet, but we have to move fast. What do I need to do? Marissa asked. You need to come to the hospital tonight, Alina whispered. Quietly. Don't tell anyone. Not your husband, not your parents. And when you get here, don't ask for me at the desk. Just text when you arrive, tonight. Marissa breathed. Yes, because tomorrow? Alina's voice cracked, but she forced herself to continue. Tomorrow they're planning to take Lauren off life support. My heart seized. Marissa's breath trembled. I'm coming. I'm leaving now, Alina whispered. Be careful. She hung up, and the next moment, she slipped back into my room, closing the door behind her with shaking hands. She leaned close, her voice trembling. Your sister is coming. We'll protect you. But we have to move fast now. They're watching us. Don't miss the next part. Next, Marissa arrives at the hospital at night, but someone else arrives too. And Lauren faces a terrifying close call. Asterisk night at the hospital always felt different. The hallways got quieter, the machines louder, and fear crept in like a draft under the door. Alina stayed close, checking my vitals more often than usual, standing to adjust the monitors just so she could whisper reassurance. Your sister is on her way, she murmured every few minutes, as if repeating it would anchor both of us. But beneath her voice, I heard the tension, the awareness, the knowledge that Dr. Harris could reappear at any moment or worse. Daniel, minutes stretched like hours. Then, far down the hall, the elevator dinged. Footsteps followed, 2 sets. One light and quick. One heavier. Slower. Alina stiffened. That's her, she whispered. I told her to text me when she got here. But my mind snatched onto the sound, 2 sets of steps, not one. Alina hurried to the door and cracked it an inch, peering out. Her breath caught. Oh God, she whispered. This isn't good. I wanted to scream, what's happening? Who's there? She closed the door quickly and rushed to my bedside, speaking low and urgent. Your sister came. But Daniel came too. My heart thundered so hard the monitor beeped faster. Why was he here? At midnight. What did he know? Alina pressed her palm lightly over my hand. Listen, Your sister is safe for the moment. I texted her to wait by the vending machines. But Daniel, he's heading this way. The door handle clicked. Alina straightened immediately, stepping away from me and pulling herself into a calm, professional facade. By the time the door opened, she looked like a nurse doing a routine check, even though her pulse must have been racing. Daniel stepped inside, and the room instantly felt colder. His shoes tapped against the floor slowly, deliberately. He wasn't rushed or anxious. He was comfortable. Too comfortable. Working late? He asked Alina, his voice soft but edged. Just finishing rounds, she replied evenly. Daniel moved closer to my bed. I could smell his cologne, sharp, expensive, familiar in the worst possible way. How's she doing tonight? He asked. Alina hesitated just a breath too long. Stable? He hummed thoughtfully. No changes. No, she said. Nothing significant. Daniel exhaled deep, slow, like he was pleased. Good, he said. You know, the doctors think it's time we start talking about withdrawal. Tomorrow morning, actually? Lena's fingers gripped the chart in her hands. That's a serious decision, she said. Maybe the family needs more time. Daniel tilted his head. Her family trusts me. I'm her husband. The word husband landed like a punch to my chest. Then, without warning, he leaned in closer to me. Lauren, he whispered. You're still fighting, huh? I wanted to jerk away. Wanted to rip the tubes from my body and scream. But all I could do was lie there as his breath brushed my skin. His voice dropped even lower. You have to let go. My heart rate spiked on the monitor. Alina interjected quickly. Her vitals are sensitive right now. Maybe it's best to give her some space. Daniel didn't move. Instead, he smirked as if he knew exactly what he was doing, as if he wanted to see how much control he still had over the woman he tried to kill. Then something unexpected happened. His phone buzzed. He pulled it from his pocket, glanced at the screen, and his face changed. His eyes narrowed, his jaw clenched. Excuse me, he muttered, stepping out of the room. The moment the door closed, Alina rushed to it and peeked through the crack. Her voice trembled when she whispered, It's your sister. She must have moved. He saw her. Panic shot through me like fire. Alina turned toward me, eyes wide with fear. We have to find her before he does. What would you do right now if someone you loved walked straight into danger because they came to save you? Alina took a breath and slipped out of the room, leaving the door slightly ajar so she could hear me if something changed. She hurried down the hallway, calling Marissa softly, urgently. But Daniel's footsteps were already closing in. And for the first time, I realized Marissa's life might also be at risk. Don't miss the next part. Next, Marissa tries to avoid Daniel, but runs into someone even more dangerous instead. Marissa wasn't supposed to move. Elena's instructions were clear: stay hidden, stay quiet, don't attract attention. But my sister had never been good at waiting when people she loved were in danger. She'd always been the type to run toward chaos instead of away from it. And tonight, that instinct almost destroyed her. She hovered near the vending machines at the far end of the hall, half shadowed by a flickering light. Her hair was pulled into a loose bun, her coat still half sipped from rushing out the door. Even without seeing her, I could picture the tension in her shoulders, the way she chewed the inside of her cheek when overwhelmed, through the door's narrow crack. I could hear faint echoes, the rustling of her clothes, the anxious shuffle of her feet. But what I heard next chilled me to the core. Daniel's voice. Close, too close. Marissa. My sister gasped, her footsteps skittered backward. Daniel's tone softened, but in that terrifyingly charming way he used on people he wanted to manipulate. What are you doing here? Visiting hours are over. Marissa tried to steady her voice. I couldn't sleep. I needed to check on Lauren. Daniel took slow steps toward her. Even without seeing it, I knew he was wearing that controlled, sympathetic expression he used like a mask. You should have called me, he said. I would have come with you. Didn't want to bother you, she replied quickly. You've been dealing with so much. Her lie was shaky, But Daniel didn't seem to notice. Or maybe he didn't care. He kept moving closer. "Marissa," he said softly, "you look nervous." "Something wrong?" She stepped back. "No, I just want to see my sister." "Why?" Daniel asked, a sharp, too sudden. There was a long pause. I pictured my sister's face tightening with fear. "I miss her," she said. Daniel let out a low hum. "Of course, but there's nothing new to see. She's the same." His voice dropped lower, and soon. "She won't be here at all." Marissa's breath caught. "What do you mean?" "The doctors will discuss end-of-life options with me in the morning," he said casually, like he was talking about scheduling a haircut. Marissa's voice cracked. "But she's still alive." Daniel stepped closer. "Barely. You know, she wouldn't want to live like this." Could hear her heartbeat from across the hall. It was nearly as fast as mine. Daniel leaned in. "Why are you really here, Marissa?" Her breathing hitched. She tried to turn away, but she ran directly into someone else. A woman's voice, smooth, poisoned honey. "Going somewhere." Clara. My sister gasped, stumbling a step back. She was surrounded now, Daniel on one side, Clara on the other. Clara's heels clicked slowly as she circled her. "Long night for you to be out alone, isn't it?" Marissa steadied herself. "I'm here to see my sister." Clara laughed lightly. "Sweet of you. But really? Now?" Daniel stepped in front of her. "Marissa, you seem stressed. Did someone tell you something? Something you shouldn't have heard?" My sister froze. Her silence told them everything. Clara's voice sharpened. "She knows." "No," Daniel whispered. "Someone told her." Footsteps turned. Alina. Terror ripped through me. Alina was still out there somewhere, searching for my sister. Unaware she was walking straight into danger. Daniel hissed under his breath. "We need to find her before she talks to anyone." "What about Marissa?" Clara asked. A dark silence followed. Then Daniel said she won't be a problem if she keeps quiet. "Will you, Marissa?" My sister swallowed hard. I won't tell anyone." Clara stepped so close my sister must have felt her breath. "See? Easy." But Daniel didn't believe her. I could hear it in the way he exhaled, slow, calculating. "We'll talk about this tomorrow," he said finally. "For now, go home. Don't come back until I call you." Marissa nodded quickly. Her voice shook. "Oh, okay." Footsteps scattered hers, hurried, panicked. Daniel's and Clara's, slow, controlled. The elevator dinged. Silence returned. Moments later, Alina rushed back into my room, breathless. "Lauren, your sister's okay." But they cornered her. "They know someone told her the truth." My heart raced, pounding against the ventilator's rhythm. Alina grabbed my hand. "We're running out of time. If Marissa was almost caught, we need real backup." She took a deep breath. "We're calling the police." Don't miss the next part. Next, Alina attempts to contact the police only to discover someone has already blocked her call. And the danger inside the hospital grows even more urgent. Alina practically ran back into my room. Her breath sharp and uneven, her hands shaking as she closed the door behind her. "Lauren," she whispered, "they cornered your sister. They're getting suspicious. We have to move now. We can't wait for morning." Take a second to like and subscribe and press the bell icon to stay with me for more stories like this one. She pulled out her phone, fingers fumbling as she tapped the screen. "I'm calling the police. We need help from outside the hospital. They won't listen to Dr. Harris, and they won't be afraid of Daniel." I wanted to tell her she was right. I wanted to tell her thank you. But all I could do was listen as the phone rang. Once, twice. Then suddenly silence. Alina pulled the phone away from her ear, frowning. "What?" The call dropped. She tried again. Dial tone, connection. Then dead air. "What is going on?" she muttered, tapping the screen. She checked the signal. Full bars, Wi-Fi connected. Battery high. She tried again. This time, before the call could even ring, her phone flashed a message. "Call failed, network error." Elena's face went pale. No, this can't be happening. She tried calling anyone, her sister, her roommate, voicemail. Nothing went through. Every call died before it connected. A cold dread wrapped around me like a hand closing over my throat. Alina, she whispered to herself, voice trembling, this isn't a coincidence. Someone is blocking calls on this floor. For a moment she just stood there, frozen in a terrible realization. Then her eyes widened. The hospital admin. Dr. Harris. The emergency lines, they all run through internal routers. She swallowed. He could restrict outgoing calls if he wanted to. He could make it look like a network issue. My blood roared in my ears. Dr. Harris wasn't just helping Daniel morally. He was helping him logistically. Alina, she whispered, as if saying her own name might steady her, we need another plan. Another way to reach someone outside. Her gaze darted around the room. At the machines. At the tablet used for charting vitals. At the old landline mounted on the wall. She rushed to it, lifted the receiver, dead. She set it down with shaking hands. Of course, she whispered. Dr. Harris would have shut this one off too. She stood still for a moment, breathing shallowly, the weight of danger pressing against the walls. I could practically feel her fear vibrating in the air. But then she did something extraordinary. She straightened. Her hands stopped shaking, and determination replaced panic. Okay, she said softly, brushing my arm with her fingertips. They want to trap us. They think they control every exit. But they don't know me. She turned back toward me. I'm not letting them kill you. Or your sister. We just need one person outside these walls to know what's happening. She knelt beside the bed so I could hear her clearly. I'm going to try the staff computer in the break room. It's connected to a different network. If I can access email or a messaging app, I can reach the police directly. But then her eyes narrowed. However, Harris goes in there sometimes. If he catches me, it's over. My heart hammered. What do you think I should do? She whispered, more to herself than to me. Risk getting caught. Or play it safe and wait for your sister to make it home. I wished I could blink, scream, anything. But the decision was hers alone. She finally stood. No, we can't wait. Marissa might have Daniel following her. We need help now. She walked to the door. Her hand hovered over the knob. Lauren, she said, voice soft but fierce. Hang on. I'm coming back. And when I do, we're ending this. She opened the door. A crack hand froze. Because someone was standing right outside. A shadow. A tall shape, silent, waiting. Elena's breath hitched. Can I help you? Dr. Harris's voice asked smoothly from the hallway. My heart nearly stopped. Don't miss the next part. Next, Dr. Harris confronts Alana. She's forced to make a split-second decision that could expose everything. Or save both their lives. Alina froze with her hand still gripping the doorknob. Dr. Harris's silhouette filled the doorway, framed by the dim hallway light. He wasn't breathing heavily. He wasn't surprised. He wasn't even pretending to check on me. He was waiting, watching, listening. Late night for you, Alina, he said calmly, his tone too soft to be harmless. What were you about to do? Alina steadied herself, smoothing her scrubs as if she were simply interrupted during routine work. I was going to check supply levels. We're running low on irrigation syringes. Dr. Harris stepped forward too close, inspecting her expression. Funny, he murmured. You were heading toward the break room. Alina lifted her chin. That's where the supply list is posted. The hallway hummed faintly. Somewhere, a distant cart squeaked. But inside my room, the tension squeezed the air thin enough to choke. Dr. Harris circled her like a predator making conversation. It seems, he said slowly, that you've been spending a lot of extra time with Lauren. Lena didn't flinch. She's a critical patient. She needs consistent monitoring. Yes, he replied, but not that much monitoring. A long pause. She's not going to improve, he said. And the sooner we accept that, the better. Elena's breath stuttered, but only once. I don't agree. His voice sharpened like a blade. You don't need to agree. You just need to follow instructions. Something in the room shifted then. Alina wasn't just afraid, she was angry. With a calmness that stunned even me, she stepped past him. "I'm just doing my job, doctor," she said. "Now, if you'll excuse me," he grabbed her arm. Not hard enough to bruise, just hard enough to send a warning. "Alina," he murmured, "I know you called someone earlier." My pulse slammed. He knew. He heard enough. Alina kept her expression neutral. "Family deserves updates. Family doesn't deserve lies," he said. His hand tightened. "Who were you talking to? And what did you tell her?" Silence hovered so long I thought Alina might break. But then she smiled. "Why don't you check the call logs if you're so curious?" she said lightly. For the first time, Dr. Harris faltered. Barely, but enough. Alina pulled her arm away with smooth professionalism. "I'm going to finish my rounds now." And she walked off. Just like that. Dr. Harris stood there, frozen in the doorway, calculating. I could feel the weight of his suspicion spreading like smoke. Then he stepped into my room. The hairs on the back of my neck would have stood up if I had movement at all. He closed the door behind him, locked it. The click echoed like a gunshot in my chest. He approached my bed slowly, his shoes making soft thuds against the linoleum. When he spoke, his voice was deceptively gentle. "You've caused a lot of trouble, Lauren." My heart thundered. The machines beeped faster. "I don't know what Alina thinks she saw," he continued, "or what she thinks you're capable of. You are not conscious. You are not aware. And you will not survive the week." He paused, leaning down close to my ear. "Daniel is a friend. A good friend. He's been through enough. And you're only delaying the inevitable." He moved toward the ventilator, the machine breathing for me. His fingers brushed one of the settings. Not disabling. Not unplugging. Just adjusting. A quiet alarm chimed and the airflow tightened ever so slightly, making my chest constrict. My heart raced. The monitor blared. "Oh," he murmured. "Sensitive, aren't we?" He adjusted it back, leaving no trace. A warning. A demonstration. He straightened, smoothing his coat. "Get some rest. Tomorrow will be decisive." He walked out, his shoes tapping calmly, the lock clicking open again. A minute passed. Then 2. Then Alina burst back into the room, breathless and shaking. "Lauren, did he touch you? Did he do anything?" I doubled back as soon as he left the hallway. She hurried to my side, checking the machines, making sure everything was normal. When she saw the ventilator's brief spike in the logs, her eyes filled with fury. "He's accelerating things," she whispered. "We have to disappear from this room before morning." Disappear? Was that even possible? Alina leaned close, voice trembling but fierce. "We're not waiting for police anymore. We're smuggling you out tonight. What would you do if your only chance at survival meant escaping the very people sworn to protect you?" Don't miss the next part. Next, Alina forms a desperate escape plan, and enlists someone unexpected to help move Lauren without alerting Harris or Daniel. Alina paced the room, her mind racing faster than the beeping monitors. Every few seconds she would glance at the door, terrified Dr. Harris might return. Her breathing was quick, shallow, but her voice stayed steady when she finally spoke. "Lauren, listen to me," she whispered, leaning close. "We have hours, maybe less, before Harris and Daniel make their move. We have only one chance to get you out of here alive." A wave of fear and relief washed through me. Escape, freedom, survival, words I hadn't dared to imagine since waking in this body-shaped cage. Alina checked the hall again, then closed the blinds on the window near the door. With the room dimmed, she stepped back to my bedside. "I can't move you by myself," she said. "Not without drawing attention. ICU patients are always on watch. Someone will notice." She swallowed hard, thinking. "There is one person I trust," she murmured. "Someone who hates Dr. Harris as much as I do." She pulled out her phone, typed rapidly, and tucked it away before stepping to the corner of the room. She waited nervously, anxiously. 2 minutes passed, 3, then a soft tap on the door. A code knock. slow, deliberate. Alina hurried to open it just an inch. A whisper. "It's me." A man stepped inside tall, wearing hospital scrubs, his ID badge turned backward. He had tired eyes, messy hair, and a voice that carried quiet defiance. This was Jonas Pierce, a respiratory therapist who'd argued with Dr. Harris countless times over patient treatment. Alina had mentioned him before, someone who stood up for patients even when administration pushed back. Jonas looked at me with immediate sympathy. "So it's true," he whispered. "You're in there. You're really conscious." Alina nodded, urgency sharpening her voice. "We don't have time. Harris is helping her husband end her life. They're planning to do it tomorrow. We need to get her off this floor tonight." Jonas cursed under his breath. I knew something felt wrong about this case. He stepped to my bedside, gently adjusting the ventilator tubing with expert hands. "If we move her, we need a portable ventilator and a transport bed. And we need an exit plan." Lena nodded. "There's an unused trauma bay on the first floor. No cameras inside. We can hide her there until the police arrive." "Police?" Jonas asked. "I tried calling," Alina said grimly. "Harris blocked the outgoing lines. But I can use the staff computer downstairs." Jonas began preparing the machines. "Then let's move fast." Alina leaned toward me. "Lauren, we're going to disconnect you briefly. Just long enough to switch to a portable ventilator. You'll feel the air change, but we'll keep you safe." If I could have nodded, I would have. If I could speak, I would have begged them to hurry. Jonas lowered the side rail and began readying the portable unit while Alina checked the hallway. "Clear for now," she whispered. Jonas carefully loosened the connection between my breathing tube and the ventilator. A chill ran through my body as the air momentarily thinned. The moment felt like falling underwater, disorienting, terrifying, but in seconds. The portable machine clicked on, feeding oxygen back into my lungs. "There," Jonas whispered. "She's stable." They raised the bed rails and positioned the transport gurney beside me. 3 seconds, Jonas said. "Lift, shift, secure." Alina grabbed my shoulders. Jonas took my legs. On his count, they moved me in one coordinated, gentle motion. For the first time since the accident, my bed changed. My world shifted. They covered me with blankets, tucked the ventilator hose beneath the sheets, and lowered the headrest so I looked like a patient being moved for imaging common, unremarkable, unnoticed. "Let's go," Alina whispered. But as she reached for the door, something stopped her. A shadow passed beneath the hallway light, slow, heavy, pacing. Then, stopping directly outside my room, Alina covered her mouth, eyes wide. Jonas froze mid-step. A soft knock. Daniel's voice seeped through the door. "Is she awake?" My heart nearly burst. Don't miss the next part. Next, Daniel enters the room, forcing Alina and Jonas to make a dangerous choice that could expose everything, or buy them one final chance to escape. Daniel's voice seeped through the door like poison slowly soaking into the room. "Is she awake?" Alina's breath hitched. Jonas froze mid-step, gripping the transport gurney's rail. My heart hammered so hard the monitor almost gave us away until Jonas reached over and quickly switched the portable machine to silent mode. The beeps faded, leaving only the soft hiss of oxygen moving through plastic tubing. Alina motioned frantically for Jonas to push the gurney deeper into the room, tucked behind the privacy curtain. They moved quickly, but silently, like people who knew one wrong move meant disaster. Alina stepped toward the door, forcing her voice into something calm and professional. One moment she called out, "Open it," Daniel said. Too smoothly, too controlled. Alina cracked the door an inch. "She's resting," she said. "I'm doing routine checks." Daniel pushed the door wider with his hand. "Move." Alina stepped aside, pretending not to shake. He entered, scanning the room. Immediately his gaze flicked to my original bed empty. My stomach dropped. There was no hiding that. But then Jonas stepped forward from behind the curtain, wearing a lead apron and holding a portable monitor. "Transporting her for imaging," he said with an annoyed sigh. Dr. Harris ordered a last-minute scan. Again. The irritation in his voice was so convincing, even I almost believed it. Daniel stiffened. Why wasn't I told? Jonas didn't blink. Because you're not medical staff. And because Dr. Harris said this was urgent. He rattled a chart. Neuroprotocols. Daniel stared at him, suspicion written in every line of his face. Alina added smoothly, we were just about to take her down. Jonas tapped the portable ventilator. If you want to slow us down, feel free. But it's your wife's brain we're checking. Daniel's jaw clenched, his mask cracking for a split second. He stepped toward the gurney and my entire body screamed inside. But Jonas maneuvered himself between Daniel and me with casual confidence. Don't touch the equipment, Jonas said sharply. Unless you'd like to explain to Dr. Harris why you contaminated a sterile setup. Daniel hesitated. He didn't know enough about medical equipment to risk calling the bluff. He stepped back. Alina walked toward the door. We really need to get her there before the machine is tied up. You can visit again when we return. Daniel exhaled through his nose, irritated. Fine, but I want an update as soon as she's back. I'll let you know, Jonas said. Daniel stared at them both, another long, chilling moment. His eyes drifted toward the curtain, the place where the cameras wouldn't catch much. Don't take too long, he said quietly. Alina swallowed. We won't. Daniel left. The door clicked shut. Silence washed over the room. Then Alina sucked in a shaking breath and whispered, Move. Now, Jonas, go. They pushed the gurney out the door, turning sharply into the hallway. Alina walked ahead, clearing the path. Jonas walked behind, one hand protectively gripping the ventilation tubing. Every second felt stretched, thin, fragile, dangerous, trembling with possibility. They wheeled me down a dim corridor. It's past the nurses' station where the night staff barely glanced up. It's past an empty waiting area. Past a sign pointing toward the lower floors. Alina exhaled when the hallway finally turned toward a back elevator rarely used during night shifts. Jonas pressed the call button. A soft hum. The doors opened. Empty. They rolled me inside. Jonas hit the button for the first floor. Just as the doors began to close. A hand shot between them. A tall shadow filled the gap. The doors slid open again, and standing there, eyes burning with suspicion, was Dr. Harris. He looked at the three of us. At the portable ventilator. At the chart. At the covered gurney. And then straight into Alina's eyes. Going somewhere? He asked quietly. Alina's face went pale, but she didn't look away. Jonas stepped slightly in front of the gurney. Dr. Harris smiled small, cold, knowing. You're not taking her to imaging. Silence. You're trying to move her. Off this floor. Hay stepped inside the elevator and pressed the button to close the doors behind him. What exactly, he whispered, do you think you're doing? What would you do? Stuck in an elevator with the one person who wants you dead-end, the only two people who can save you. Don't miss the next part. In the final chapter, Alina and Jonas are forced into a life-or-death confrontation with Dr. Harrison. Lauren's fate will finally be decided. The elevator doors slid shut with a heavy metallic groan, trapping the four of us inside Lena Jonas, Dr. Harris, and me, silent and helpless on the gurney. The quiet hum of the elevator only made the tension more suffocating. Dr. Harris stood between Alina and the doors, blocking any escape. His expression was eerily calm. Like a man who believed he had already won, you two have made a very serious mistake. He said softly. Alina didn't back down. We're protecting a patient. Something you should be doing. He smirked. Protecting her? By sneaking her out in the middle of the night like fugitives. No, you're trying to destroy her husband. You're trying to destroy me. Jonas stepped forward, voice firm and low. The only one destroying anything is you. We have her whole story recorded. Your involvement, Daniel's confession, everything. Harris's eyes flashed. You think anyone will believe a nurse and a therapist over a doctor with 20 years of spotless reputation? Over her own husband. You're forgetting something, Alina said. Lauren is conscious. She communicated everything. He laughed a soft, disbelieving sound. Then show me. Go on. Show me how she communicates. Blink, twitch. Everyone knows coma patients do that occasionally. Elena's jaw tightened. You're not getting near her. But Harris stepped forward anyway, reaching out to pull back the blanket covering the ventilator. Tubing. Jonas moved fast. He shoved Harris back with both hands. The doctor stumbled, slamming against the elevator wall. For a moment, everything froze. Then Harris lunged wild, desperate, grabbing at Jonas's scrubs. Jonas blocked him, fists clenched, ready to defend himself if it came to that. Stop, Alina hissed. There are cameras in the halls. If we make it out, Harris snarled, you're not making it out. The elevator suddenly jolted to a stop between floors. Harris had hit the emergency button. Trapped, no escape. Jonas braced himself. Don't take another step. But Harris didn't listen. He reached into his coat pocket. My fear spiked. What was he pulling out? Then he raised something metallic. A syringe filled with a clear solution. Alina gasped. Are you insane? You can't. Oh, I can, Harris said, voice trembling with adrenaline. A sudden cardiac arrest. Very common in critical patients. No one would question it. He turned toward me. And that was the moment that saved my life. Because at that exact second, the elevator jerked, then dropped, just a few inches, but enough to throw everyone off balance. Harris lost his footing, stumbled forward right into Jonas's shoulder. The syringe flew from his hand, clattering to the floor. Jonas reacted instantly. He grabbed Harris by the wrist, twisted, and Harris cried out as Jonas forced him to the ground. Alina kicked the syringe under the gurney, far out of reach. Harris fought wildly, screaming, You don't understand. She was supposed to die. Daniel promised. Jonas pinned him harder. Keep talking, he growled. Every word is just more evidence. Alina slammed the emergency call button, shouting into the speaker, Security. This is a medical emergency. We have an assault in elevator 3. Send help now. Voices crackled back, frantic and confused. The elevator restarted. When the doors finally slid open on the first floor, security swarmed in. 3 guards, then for more, tackling Harris and cuffing him as he screamed obscenities. Alina. Jonas, one guard barked. Is the patient stable? What happened? Alina grabbed my hand. She survived. That's what happened. They rushed me into the empty trauma bay Alina had planned to use. Jonas stayed by my side. Alina stood at the doorway, tears of relief running down her cheeks. Minutes later, officers stormed in. They listened. They watched the video. And everything shifted. Daniel was arrested before sunrise. Clara fled, but was found days later. Harris lost his license within hours, and his freedom not long after. Weeks passed. I underwent treatment, therapy, slowly regaining movement. Then speech. The day I finally opened my eyes fully. Marissa, Alina, and Jonas stood beside me. 3 people I would never forget. And now, finally, here I am, telling you this story with the voice they fought so hard to protect. If this story touched your heart, please like the video and subscribe for more inspiring stories. And if you have any questions or want to know what happened next with the characters, just comment below. I'll be reading them all. Sometimes life takes turns we never expect. Every person in this story carried their own pain, their own choices, and their own consequences. Maybe you saw yourself in one of them, or maybe it reminded you of someone you once knew. What do you think happened next? What would you have done if you were in their place? If you have any questions about what happened to the other characters, or if you want me to share more about them, just comment below. I read every message you leave, and your thoughts truly mean a lot to me. And if this story touched your heart, inspired you, or even made you think differently, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep sharing stories that move people, open minds, and remind us we're all human. At the end of the day, your support keeps these stories alive. Thank you for watching, for feeling, and for being part of this journey. More powerful stories are coming soon. Stay tuned and stay kind.